I just read an article about books being banned in schools. Isn't that shocking? Anything basically with a nude painting or sort of references, I suppose, with that would maybe deemed unkind. And I have heard before that Enid Blyton has been banned. And I'm always saying, actually, when I'm with the kids, something about being fat. And I do get reprimanded because it's not a word you can use anymore. And I know that a lot of older novels use that word. But it's so weird, isn't it? Because you just think, well, hang on a minute, fat is fat, you know. I mean, it's all a bit too much, I think, banning books. It's under pressure from the far right, apparently. This article I've just read, it was a BBC article, you know, it comes with good pedigree. So I'm assuming it's true, but a school, I think in London, had been removing books because of pressure, and the Teachers' Union in Brighton had a vote on whether that should be done or not, and the answer was no. Seemingly, America is big on banning books, and a lot of the books that get banned are written by, underrepresented groups, shall we say, people of colour, LGBTQ plus, etc. And it's just like, oh my goodness me, how do I feel about this as somebody who's been around for, 63 years? And we heard about book burning from the history books, the Nazis burned books. And you just think, God, that would never happen in my lifetime. And it's happening in our lifetime. And you just think, my God, am I really seeing this sort of generation? It's not even one generation, is it? It's like, 4 generations later, it's going straight back to the rise of fascism in the sort of 30s. I just think, oh my God. So it's 100 years, 100-year-old activities that were, when I was born and growing up in the 60s and 70s, these activities were deemed as monstrous, alien and nonsensical and just horrific. And now we're seeing them again. And you say, well, hang on a minute, does that mean by 1930? I mean, I know numbers don't really have anything to do with it, but, in around about 1930, we're going to see this, incredible overbearing rise of fascistic behaviour. And we are seeing it in the world already, aren't we, in war-torn parts. We're seeing the rise of supremacists, people who believe that their birthright is more important than other people who are born outside their culture. And it's just horrifying because we know how it's going to turn out, don't we? We know because we've seen it, or we've lived the experience of the aftermath of it, I'm desperately worried. It just feels totally horrific. Anyway, I always come back to consumerism and capitalism, and I just think so much of human behaviour can be sourced back to the capitalist agenda, money making, and to take more from the pot than is deserved or is the natural division of the pot throughout all peoples of the world, and today I said yesterday in my podcast that I was going to stop using chat. I've got a couple of days left of it. I think it goes off on the 7th. But I did get sucked into Grok, which is free. Well, I think it's free if you've got a pro account with Twitter, which I do have, which is about £7 or £9 a month or something. It's quite a lot cheaper than the £20 I've been paying. And Grok is much more open, apparently. I mean, I haven't, thoroughly explored it yet, but it's much more open to ideas, and it doesn't like censoring. So this I'm really anti-censoring today. I've got a bee in my bonnet about it because I read this article. Because my AI just gives me this dripping, puerile nonsense over and over again. Tells me I'm fantastic, but I should do this, and doesn't give me anything groundbreaking ever. It gives me a kind of dumbed down version of reality constantly, and a dumbed down version almost of history as well, because, you know, to be able to get all the advertisers on board and what have you, they need to give this kind of plateaued existence, that it's all on one simple level. And it's not, is it? You know, existence is rock frigging bottom and up high in the echelons. You know, it's never a plateau in between that is pleasing to everyone. And do you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh God, this is really annoying me. And as an artist, I want to feel pain. I want to feel the pain emotionally of how people suffer, so that I can write about it, and so that I can make art about it, and so I can believe that it happened, because, you know, I have empathy, but I need the truth, and I don't need it sugar-coated. I don't want sugar-coated truths, you know. So yeah, I'm a bit on a thing today. So you know, just thinking as well about the rise of the algorithm. So the algorithm, this mathematical system that robotic searches use. I mean, it's AI as well. They look for constant patterns all the time. So today I did I've just launched my CD archive radio and TV show. It's on YouTube. You can go and have a look. It's all free. And it kept saying, chat kept saying, name it Broadcast 1. And I thought, well, I don't want to name it Broadcast 1. I don't want numbers in my apart from 1990s. That was the only number I put in. And then it kept giving me titles, and it said, this is the format you should use from now on. And I thought, I don't want to call all my programs the same thing, bar one word. You know, why do I want to do that? You're losing all the energy of it. Yeah, it's great for archivists, but archivists are mathematicians. They're not listeners. You know, archivists are a different breed. They're statisticians. They're other people. I want real people to amble along and look at my exciting title and think, oh, this is wacky, or, oh, this is my vibe. Oh, I'm going to go here because it sounds really interesting. Broadcast 1 does not sound interesting, does it? It's like, no, please, I don't want to. And I'm a great believer as well that you look at the first word. On a title, you look at the first word. I mean, not if it's the, but you certainly look at the second word, you know, definitely, if the first word is a little word. What do they call those little words? So I can't think what the name of them is, but they point to a verb or a noun, is it? Oh my God, I'm just letting the English-speaking side down now. But you know what I mean. So the main word in the title is the second word, I believe. That's the one I look at. I don't often get all the way to the end of the title to see, oh yes, this is the I've forgotten what the band was called. Let me look, because they were really good. Oh no, I've put it away now. There is a really good band. Oh no, here we go. The Malchicks. There we go. I should have remembered that. The Malchicks. You know, I need that early in the description so people see it. After my name, I did put I Serve Land with the Malchicks or something like that. But you know, if you're doing Broadcast 1, Series 25, channel and then the Malchicks, that's not what I want to do. I do not want to do that. I'm really disappointed with chat, and I was so excited when it first started because it was, you know, open AI for the people. I had to subscribe to get a little bit more sense out of it. And now it's just useless. It's just utter drivel that it throws back at me. Utter drivel. But the other thing is, you know, not only is AI telling you what to write so that AI can find it, do you see what I mean? It's feeding itself. And it's almost leaving humans out. It's like humans are completely irrelevant. You know, the machine doesn't care about the human in the middle. The consumer doesn't care about that. It just wants to be able to find stuff and then regurgitate it archive it, make it ad-friendly, etc., etc. That's all it wants to do. So you're completely cut out of the loop if you follow that religiously. Do you see what I mean? The algorithm and the way it feeds only itself whilst cutting us out is starting to piss me off, frankly, guys. Piss me off. I try not to swear, but sometimes I just have to get it out of my mouth. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, going back to Twitter and Grok, at least it's free. Grok is free. And I did put in some questions, and it actually was more factual and more helpful than chat. But it still occupied me more than I want to be occupied digitally. No, not digitally, because I obviously want to watch bands and I want to listen to music and stuff like that. But it had me too passive, I suppose. Although you're reading, you're not really learning much. I mean, I could probably ask it research questions, and I do believe it would come up with things that are more interesting than chat. But I have only asked it 3 questions, so I'm quite new to it, but I'll let you know how I get on. But I like that it was free anyways. At least I'm not paying for drivel. At least I'm not paying to be told stupid things in this sort of sugar-coated plateau of existence that has become more annoying than I can bear. And my daughter was actually interviewing people recently for a job vacancy as an agony aunt, and loads of people applied using AI. So their curriculum, their CV was done by AI. Well, I also used AI to do my CV. It was a beautiful CV, but it was picture heavy. So I sort of used it in part quite small, and it wasn't too bad. But my daughter said, that she could tell at 20 paces, the AI versions, and she didn't even put them down on the shortlist. And I thought, I said to her, that's a bit harsh, because obviously I use AI as well, because AI tells us that they're better than humans. But I do think there may be a revolution, guys. Also, she was advertising for somebody to do written articles. So I guess that's maybe where you wouldn't want to see AI. I was applying for a musical instrument making course. If I was applying to anything creative, of course I would do it myself. I would. But the other difficulty is when HR advertises a job in a big company, they use AI to sift through the applications. So do you write for an AI exclusion? An AI that studies everything and, deciphers the better or the best or the most appropriate applications. You need to please the AI if it's the AI that's looking. This goes back to this AI-centric algorithm, doesn't it? Well, what do you think, guys? I don't know. Tell me in the comments or something. And I'll be really interested. What I'm really interested in is, what do old people think and what do young people think? Because I'm wondering if we're actually more similar or less similar than my immediate sort of go-to response. I mean, there are times when I just think, no, they're a different race. Young people are like a whole section of society I don't understand. But then there are other times, and I think, well, do you know what? We're all the bloody same. We're all the same. We all want the same things, and we all have the same sort of selfish desires or, community spirit, etc., etc. But I don't know. Is it that, or are we just, rivers apart? Can we no longer swim to the other side?